focus on the highlights of the Kurukshetra this time. Now, this edition focuses on a self-reliant India. So, we would be understanding what are the major measures that have been taken by the government, the efforts at the individual state level, and the major breakthroughs. This would be also available in the handouts at Examrace Current Affairs section. So, you can just go back and check out the website for more details on this. So let's first start with the demographic dividend. Now, demographic dividend says the people in the age group of 15 to 59 years are considered as the working set, and this working population would be at its peak at 2021. So definitely India has a youth. The only need is to skill the youth and bring in development and more productivity. So what can be the major ways out have been discussed in this edition. Now, the first scheme that we have brought about is the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. As the name suggests, it is an idea for skill building, skill development, imparting knowledge to illiterates, neo-literates, and school dropout youths through the various public education institutions. Prior learning needs to be recognized in this aspect, and there should be funds for the startups that should come up. The next is a SEAM scheme. Now, a SEAM scheme is again another important scheme under the self-reliant campaign. This scheme talks about Atmanirbhar skilled employee-employer mapping. So this would be a real-time data mapping of the workforce based on the demand and the supply in the economic market. The next is Reignite, and the concept has been brought about by the Directorate General of Training. It is a free digital learning platform for skill building in the name of Reignite. So Reignite, again, very important. Pradhan Mantri Yuva Udyamita Vikas Abhiyan. This aims at bringing in young entrepreneurs and bringing in more development as a young entrepreneur. So this has been implemented by Ministry of Skill Building and Development in India. The next is various agricultural reforms. So 3 of the agricultural reforms have been passed recently. We have already discussed those in our edition on Down to Earth, which we bring every fortnightly. The idea behind the Essential Commodity Act among these is very important, which we have covered in detail and again here. The next is Atmanirbhar Bharat. So Atmanirbhar Bharat, the word itself means self-reliant. So we should be self-reliant, be it agriculture, be it industries, and in the infrastructural development as well. So Operation Greens, which is one of the major operations for bringing in cold storage and transportation for the 3 important crops, which is the pot, that is, or the PTO as it is called as. So potato, tomato, and onion are the 3 important crops which are part of it. The next is the Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan. This focuses on employment for the rural unskilled youth, and this has been brought about through the KVKs, which is the Krishi Vigyan Kendra. The next is Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushal Yojana, which aims to train the youth in the rural area for employment purposes, and certain corpus funds have been released, the details of which have been mentioned. SVEP, which is a Startup Village Entrepreneurship Program, has been launched by Ministry of Rural Development. Now, which ministry brings about which scheme is very important, often asked in your examination. So this is something that you must not forget. This scheme, the SVEP scheme, is specifically brought to empower women, and mainly women from SC/ST and backward category. The next is innovation and entrepreneurship for a sustainable growth. Now, there are 5 pillars through which we focus on innovation and entrepreneurship. What are those? This is to promote an ecosystem where more of development can actually take place. So building infrastructure, bringing in startups, smart water management, transport, energy management, and housing are some of the major focus areas. Now, various ministries have been working in line to strengthen these 5 pillars for innovation and entrepreneurship. And the 5th pillar, which is the most important pillar, is the socio-economic development, where we need to focus on IMR and MMR, that's the infant mortality and the maternal mortality rate. The next is Atal Innovation Mission. Now, Atal Innovation Mission focuses on tinkering labs, the ETL labs at the school level, Atal incubators at university and institutional level, the community innovation centers, which is mainly serving the underserved areas in the country, Atal New India challenges, which bring in service innovations even for national impact, a RISE scheme, which is aimed to bring in or stimulate the medium and the small scale industries in India, and the mentorship for change. The next important aspect that we focus on is the financial and the institutional setup. Now, rural area definitely faces a lot of challenge in case of institutional support, because there is lack of incubation centers, lack of good entrepreneurs, lack of venture capitals is going into the region. So, scaling up the challenges and bringing financial support and institutional support in the rural areas is a paramount important aspect. Then we also focus on a concept which is known as NEP Ventures, which aims to bring in nearly 27 crore rural Indians to be part of the active internet users, and this would strengthen up more startups in the rural area, not only in agriculture but rural e-commerce, digital services that could be brought to the rural area. So for the rural areas specifically, we focus on rural startups. We focus on agri startups, which are mainly dealing with agriculture. Venture debt funds are another good idea to bring in support and development. So institutional support can be brought about by funds of funds, venture capitalist, and seed funding. Now, all of those we have discussed in our separate lectures in economics. So, for understanding those terms, we recommend that you go through the lectures that we have covered or the playlist that we have covered for economics and the terms in economics. The next is the CSR, the corporate social responsibility. Definitely, agriculture contributes to 16% of the GDP in India, and we have seen a lot of underemployment and disguised employment in the field of agriculture. So, what could be a good idea is to bring in rural youth into a skilled manpower, and this skilled manpower can turn up areas of development. The scope can be broadened not only from the government sector but also from the public sector enterprises that could be there. So, existing rural youth should be skilled. We must identify the gap where the rural training actually lacks, and then there can be centers of excellence that could be established where TOT programs, which is training of trainers program, can actually be started, and this would be a breakthrough for Make in India, Smart India, the Smart City missions, and so on. The next important aspect that we focus on is women entrepreneurs. Now, definitely, if women are empowered, we would have a stronger base for development. So, if we talk about the highest share of self employed women in India, it comes from five of the states, and those are Jammu Kashmir, Mizoram, Himachal Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Arunachal Pradesh. There are areas where we have lowest share of female workforce participation in case of self-employment, and those are mainly the regions of Kerala, Bihar, Assam, and Chandigarh. So what is required is to understand where self-employment could be brought. It could be a small scale industry, it could be a medium scale industry. We need to compare the wages which has been given under the survey, which says that the wages that is earned by the men in the urban area is 4 times the rural women. So there is a significant amount of financial gap that is seen. If this gap is reduced, definitely we have better prospects that could be fished. Again, we have the women entrepreneurship platform, which is a initiative of Niti Aayog in India, and this aims to reduce the information asymmetry that is available to women entrepreneurs. Bringing in empowerment for women entrepreneurs is important. So there are three pillars for the same. Those are Ichha Shakti, which is inspiring them to start a new business, Gyan Shakti, which is providing them knowledge, and Karma Shakti, which is helping them in ground to establish and scale up the businesses. The next is the Pradhan Mantri or the Prime Minister Employment Generation Program. This has been implemented by the KVIC at the district level as well as the state level, and we have women contributing to this project where a significant amount of subsidies has been given. Sukanya Samriddhi account is the girl child account for their financial prosperity in the future. Mahila e-heart programs have been organized from the Mahila heart programs that have been there. Also, financial literacy is another driving force for development. So when we focus on smart cities, it's not just the smart cities, the villages need to be smart too. Now, what are the parameters that we need to focus on when we say smart villages? So here are some of the parameters which vary from cultural strengthening to good governance to health and infrastructure and innovation and technology. So bringing in transformation into rural areas has been very important. For education, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan has been one of the important missions. The Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Our Urban Mission, which aims to bring in integrated project infrastructure, is another good approach that has been seen. We have also seen numerous cases of a smart village. Mayanlong, which is considered one of the cleanest villages in India and Asia as well, in the state of Meghalaya, is one of the very good breakthrough cases. And similarly, we have numerous gram panchayats which we have jotted down here. You can just have a look on those. Now, what are the major parameters that need to be taken into account? Definitely food, healthcare, nutrition, education, then livelihood opportunities, bringing in clean and green environment, good governance, and a continuous training, as we have seen. So if we focus on a few of the metropolitans in India, we have a good development, be it the case of Cyberabad and the twin city of Cyberabad or Hyderabad, or be it the cases of Delhi NCR with Noida, Gurugram along with Delhi. Similarly, we need to bring up startups in the rural vicinities as well. Now, the BRICS, which is the Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council, has covered various programs which focus on biotechnology and various stages of product development, mainly in agriculture. Now, Nidhi Prayas is an interesting scheme which helps to focus on aspiring technology for entrepreneurs, which is mainly focusing on innovation and bringing in support from the government machinery. So those are some of the important schemes that you need to focus on. So Nidhi Prayas is another important scheme that you must be aware about. The next is the Rural Self-Employment Training Institutes, which are known as RCTs. Now these RCTs are an effective medium for generating self-employment. We have the nodal agency which works with the National Institute of Rural Development based in Hyderabad. And if we look onto the picture of rural unemployment, it is 10%, which is much more higher than the urban unemployment, which stands at 6% in India. So the objective is to train the people from the rural background to bring in more support, more assistance, to bring in a demand driven growth, and to develop more entrepreneurs in the rural areas, and to bring in digital literacy, bringing in and joining the accounts, the banking accounts with an individual. The next is the next important part of the RCTs is to conduct various skill training programs in every of the financial year, and these varies from 30 to 40 programs every year. RCT is an independent body which is separate from the bank, but the idea is to impart training to the rural youth to enable them to have self startups and self-employment opportunities. Nearly 25 lakh youth have benefited from this across the years that we have seen. The next is the various schemes, the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushal Yojana, which we have already discussed, and then we focus on Pradhan Mantri Vandhan Yojana, where we are focusing on self-help groups playing an important role for training of women and youth to become self-reliant. Agro entrepreneurship is another upcoming field, as India has nearly 46 of the 60 types of soil that is present across the globe. We have 50% of the workforce which is employed in the rural in the agricultural sector, but in terms of GDP it's merely 16%. So there is a huge way out to increase the GDP from the agricultural sector. So gross value added production from the agriculture can be enhanced, and this could be brought about by more skilled youth that is coming in. So agricultural universities have been established in that line, and we have prospects for more employment opportunities and entrepreneurship opportunities in the rural areas, which varies from maintaining a cold chain to market linkages to warehouse monitoring and bringing in more transparency into the system. Again, startup award categories have been released, and of which agriculture is one of the major categories that has come up with 35 categories and 3 special categories. We have 12 sectors that have been identified separately for the Startup Awards 2020, and these would be evaluated on the various parameters like innovation, scalability, economy, social and environmental impact. The next is RKVP Raftar. This is the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana scheme, which is started in 2007 for the development of agriculture and the allied activities, but later on you had various remunerative approaches for agriculture and allied sector which was brought in line with this. As a result, we had numerous financial support and nurturing of incubation systems that is started. So definitely this has brought about numerous entrepreneurship opportunities in the agricultural field. There are agri entrepreneurship orientation program for 2 months, and a monthly stipend of 10,000 per month has been provided for the program. So again, a very good program. The next effort that we focus on is local to go global, and this is where we are focusing on export industry. So bringing in agriculture for export purposes is another important idea that we focus on, and this would involve better entrepreneurs, better infrastructure, good cold chain, good warehousing and strong market linkages indeed. And this can be in future an opportunity for migrant laborers coming back from the rural to the urban area. So the reverse migration that is being taking place can be benefited through the new developments that are seen. The next is the soft skills that need to be developed. So digital literacy would automatically bring in development of soft skills and training of the rural youth in various e-commerce platforms, and for that some of the basic skills that are required would be taken into account under the training programs. So we have numerous new initiatives that could be seen, as we have seen good examples already in India from Amul, which is a cooperative society, which is one of the largest dairy entrepreneurships across the globe. We can create similar role models in various segments besides dairy as well. Also, ecotourism and agri-tourism are another aspects that could be boosted in the future times. So bringing in stability in rural economy, and one of the recent researchers have also told that if the rural skills are empowered, the rural India would definitely bring the decline in the falling GDP in India. So there are great prospects in rural area, and how those could be approached, how cluster based approach can actually be effective in bringing in development in the rural areas, startup, self-employment, growth and development opportunities with innovation and technology in agricultural sector can make India much more self-reliant. We would be covering many more interesting topics in the upcoming sessions. Stay tuned. Have a wonderful day ahead.